Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online news video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the patch, PTS patch 6.2.0. This is going on PTS right now. It is for the new MarKarth DLC, and it is the conclusion of the Dark Heart of Skyrim stuff. So, MarKarth is an open world DLC. It's going to add a new zone to the Reach. But it also adds 2 new world bosses, 2 delves, and a exciting new solo arena that is sure to challenge you. All that's great news. Next up, they talk about a new item set collection system, which is pretty awesome. I saw the live stream and was like, oh my god, this is game breaking. And then the new Transmutation crystal cap has been increased, so that's really, really cool. So they've copied all the PC North America characters over to the PTS for this initial PTS, and you'll be able to check that stuff out. Let's go ahead and go on down here. So MarKarth DLC Game Pack, new zone, the Reach. Yep, there's going to be an above ground and a below ground, so you have both Blackreach and the normal area. So the River of Karth and Blackreach. It'll be cool. New solo arena, the Vastron Hollows, which has its own unique rewards. So a unique skin, unique dye, several titles, upcoming unique housing items, not upcoming. And that'll all be inside the new solo arena. The solo arena can be played on both normal and veteran. Playing on normal gives you the normal items from the item sets, and running it on veteran gives you the perfected. So let's go ahead and see what the new item sets are. So we have new item sets, and these are the item sets coming out for the DLC. So the item sets for Overland, we have a light armor set called Void Collar, we have a medium armor set called Witch Knight's Defense, and then we have a heavy armor set called Radiant Bastion. Each of these sets, unique in some of themselves, but are adding something new to the game. So it's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Void Collar. 2-piece, adds max health, 3-piece max magicka, 4-piece spell damage, and the 5-piece. When you take damage, your spell damage is increased by 24 for 5 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. This effect can occur once every half second. Upon reaching 20 stacks, the duration is double, but can no longer be refreshed. This is great for solo play in so many ways. Oh, it's going to be so nice. It's great for solo play, and I'm sure it'll be great for PvP, but I'm also looking at, like, non-meta groups in dungeons. This will be a great starting set for magic casters, especially ones who play the like AoE damage bursters and trash pack pullers. That'll be great for you. Witch Knight's Defense, medium armor, 2-piece weapon damage, 3-piece weapon damage, 4-piece weapon damage, and then the 5-piece. Increase your weapon damage by 369 against poisoned enemies. This is actually an interesting set because of the fact that this is amazing, will be amazing on DKs, but it'd also be amazing with anyone running certain sets that do poison as well. And that's if it applies to that. I'm sure it will, but Radiant damage, heavy armor, or Radiant Bastion, the heavy armor, 2-piece, max health, 3-piece, weapon damage, finally, and the 4-piece, max health. And then the 5-piece, deal 10% of all direct damage done to you back to the attacker, up to 4,250 damage. Yeah, we know where this is going to be used a lot. Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil, solo play. That's actually really good. I like that. Alright, so these are the 3 crafted sets. Red Eagle's Fury, Ethereal Ascension, and Legacy of Karth. Now these are, you can craft them in any armor style, light, medium, or heavy. Remember that. So, Red Eagle's Fury adds weapon and spell damage, adds 833 critical chance. If you guys didn't know, crit's changing this update. They're supposed to be doing critical chance on all, like anything that had critical before is now critical chance. Like weapon critical, spell critical, that kind of thing. But there's some things in here which we'll get to, which kind of confuse me. So, but yeah, adds the weapon and spell damage, critical chance, weapon and spell damage, and then the 5-piece adds weapon and spell power to your weapon skill abilities. Increases the cost of your non-weapon skill abilities by 5%. Now, this is the downfall of the set, but it's also it's a good hybrid set for somebody in light armor. Because even though you get a 5% increase in your non-weapon skill abilities, you're going to get a decrease in your spell abilities. So, like, if you're using mostly weapon skill abilities and magic abilities for a hybrid character, this will be great. The Ethereal Ascension adds armor on the 2-piece. 3-piece adds max health. 4-piece armor again, and the 5-piece adds a lot of armor and increases the cost of your block, sprint, dodge, and break free by 25%. This is the thing that's going to make this set useless to a lot of people, especially in the sense of the meta. But when it comes to non-meta use, like this is still not that bad when there's other things you can do to alleviate a lot of the cost here. Like block cost using block cost reduction, sprint cost using sprint cost reduction, dodge with the medium armor, and break free with the light armor plus the sprint with the break free. You know, it's like, yeah. Alright, Legacy of Karth. So this is the final crafted set. 2-piece critical chance, 3-piece weapon and spell damage, 4-piece offensive penetration. That means spell and weapon penetration, I'm guessing. 5-piece. Enemies affected by your alchemical poisons take another 1,973 disease damage every second. Interesting, because it makes your alchemical poison, like if you're using poison to proc a poison damage, this will allow you to do that, but it'll also allow you to do that with disease damage as well. So it's kind of like a double ender there. Arena weapons, Frenzied Momentum. Now this is the 2-handed sword. The perfected version gets 877 stamina, while the 1-piece, while momentum is active, casting stamina ability generates a stack of Frenzied Momentum for 10 seconds, up to 5 times. Upon reaching max stacks, your next heavy attack will consume all stacks and release a violent explosion of energy around your target, dealing 9,028 physical damage to them and all enemies within 8 meters of them. So that's actually kind of cool, because momentum is actually a really good ability depending on which version, which morph you're using. and where you're playing. Like if you're playing in PvP or you know, like Battlegrounds, Arena, like Battlegrounds, Citadel, or even Imperial City, those kind of places, it's going to be great. But it's also going to be great in PvE for solo players, because that's a really nice benefit. Void Bash, the sword and shield, adds 965 max health on perfected. When you deal, on the other one, it's when you deal damage with a power bash, you apply a Call of the Void to yourself for 2 seconds. Enemies within 12 meters of you are immediately pulled to you. After Call of the Void ends, you apply Major Maim to the enemies for 10 seconds, and the effect can be applied every 13 seconds. So you just basically have a 1-second cooldown. So you do your bash on an enemy, all enemies within 12 meters get sucked into you. 2 seconds later, they all get applied Minor Maim. Or Major Maim. So that's actually pretty nice. It would be good for tanks, but I think it'd be better for DPS running Sword and Shield, especially in dungeons. Trash pulls, that kind of thing. Executioner's Blade, Hidden Blade. Alright, 2-piece. The Perfected only adds 606 weapon critical. The other one, this is the dual wield, by the way. Hidden Blade deals 200% more damage to targets under 25% health when you are standing behind them. It's nice, but at the same time, it's like, well, getting behind somebody isn't easy. In PvP, it's not hard, but in PvE, it can be hard unless you're not, like, if you're a DPS, it's easy, but if you're a tank, it can be hard. So it's nice. I like it, but we'll have to see how it works. Wrath of the Elements, this is the Destruction Staff. So this is weakness to elements, and what it does is the Perfected only gets spell penetration, but casting weakness of elements on a target within 15 meters of you causes you surge of elemental energy to tether between you for 10 seconds while the tether persists and you remain in range. Enemies touching the tether take flame, frost, shock damage for every second, and that's 2,140. And this effect can be done every 10 seconds. The interesting thing here is a lot of people don't realize this can be also amplified with your CP. So that's that, and that's consistent damage. It doesn't crit; it's just consistent damage. So it's kind of a nice trade-off. Force Siphon. This is the Resto Staff. So 2-piece, max magicka on the perfected only. The other one, casting Force Siphon on a target within 15 meters of you causes a surge of magical energy to tether between you for 10 seconds. While the tether persists, you remain in range. You and your group members in the tether restore 175 magicka and stamina every second. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So this is actually really cool. I'm not going to tell you why. I'm going to show you why in a video, because I'll show you a build I already have for it. Alright, arena sets. Now these are the arena sets. Like Maelstrom has sets, this is their sets for this. Hex Siphon, this is the light armor, 2-piece, max magicka, 3-piece, spell damage, 4-piece, spell critical. This is where it gets me confused, like why are they adding spell critical when we're supposed to have just critical chance? Because they stated they're changing the crit to where it was both. That doesn't make sense. Alright. 5-piece adds spell damage. So the other 5-piece. Whenever you bash an enemy, you release a cone of hexing energy in front of you. Each enemy hit increases your spell damage by 88 for 8 seconds, up to 6 enemies. This effect can occur every 8 seconds. Whenever you successfully interrupt the target, you restore 1,000 magicka. Interesting in itself. And I'll explain why. This is actually a really cool set, in my opinion, for an idea. Okay, and I'll get to that later when I get down to something else later on. So, Pestilence Host, medium armor, 2-piece, physical penetration, 3-piece, max stam, weapon damage, physical pen, and then whenever you kill an enemy affected with a poison effect, their corpse releases a withering mass of fetcher flies, which seek out the nearest enemy within 12 meters, causing them to bleed for 31,200 physical damage over 31,200 physical damage over 10 seconds. That's actually really cool. So that's actually pretty cool. Explosive Rebuke, the heavy armor. Max stam, max health, and then weapon and spell damage. This is actually one I thought was pretty interesting. When you successfully block, you place a bomb on the enemy for 10 seconds. When they are hit with a fully charged heavy attack, the bomb detonates, dealing 13,150 flame damage to all enemies within 8 meters. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Yeah, think about that. You place a bomb for 10, it lasts for 8, or it can happen every 8. That'll be really good. Alright, moving on. New Mythic Items. This will, these are split into 5 fragments across the new zone, and I guess underground, I don't know. The Ring of the Pale Order, restore 15% of the damage you deal as health. You cannot be healed by anyone but yourself. It's nice, but it's also a very deadly trade-off, in my opinion. And then the Pearls of... yeah, Enofe. So, whenever you cast a healing ability while your dominant resource is under 30%, gain 5 ultimate. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. New Antiquities. So they mentioned the new Antiquities stuff here. There's a new hat, new crafting motive, Ancestral Reach. There's 2 new furnishings, the Red Eagle Cave painting and the Vampiric Stained Glass. A new pet, the Dwarven Scarab. A new map furnishing featuring a map of the Reach. 3 new sellable Antiquities, and 2 new Mythic Items, which we already went over up here. And then new collectibles and outfit styles. So these are the new collectibles and outfit styles. Welcome to the Reach. You get the hat by completing that. Witchwise Headdress when you complete the Witness of Prophecy or Witness to Prophecy. A Void Shard, it can collect collectible momentum from the quest of Feast of Souls. When you get the Vestrin Hollow's Conqueror, you get a new skin, collectible skin called the Void Pathos. And then you get the bound style pages of Hungering Void outfit weapon. Will drop randomly from the last boss within the arena. And then you get the Summon Void Rot non-combat pet by earning the Nowhere Beyond Your Reach achievement in the Reach. Alright, there is new motives. So there's this motive thing book and the Ancestral Reach. New achievements, titles, and dies. There's a few of them. We're not going to go through them all. New furnishings. Base game patch thing. This is something coming to the base game. Anyone who has the base game. So they're doing this new thing. It's called Item Set Collection. And it's basically going to give you like a sticker book inside your character information that whenever you pick up and equip any item set that is not crafted, that means dungeon set, arena set, PvP set, overland set, and you equip it, it goes into this collection book. Then you can reconstruct these things, you can recraft them at a transmutation table for transmutation crystals and upgrade materials only. So you can make monster sets, you can make arena weapon stuff, all that. And all you have to do is pick it up once and equip it once. So that's pretty cool. And then they did talk about reconstruction of it, which we talked about. The Transmutation Crystal update. So non-ESO members will now have 500 Transmutation Crystals, while ESO Plus members will have be able to carry 1,000. So that's really nice. They're also increasing the amount of Transmutation Crystals you get from PvE sources, including Undaunted Pledges, looking for group rewards, trial weekly quests, and arena and trial leaderboards. We've also increased crystals from Battleground leaderboards. As part of this, we've removed a small chance of obtaining a single Transmutation Crystal from the final boss in a dungeon. Okay. Battleground updates. Yeah, they added the group thing back, but they took out something else. So, new craftable consumables for Alliance War. I'm not going to go over this stuff. It sounds really cool, though. New PvP emote, new homes. So they were getting the Shalador Shrouded Realm and Stone Eagle's Eyrie. These are the new homes that will be with this DLC. And we'll be able to test them. And it doesn't mean you'll be able to buy these with the DLC. They come out throughout time. Character pathing aligned to terrain option. Client optimization stability. They did some more performance stuff. Alright, moving on. Because there's a lot to get through here, guys. Combat abilities. So this is combat and gameplay changes. So first off, general fixes. They fixed an issue for a few instances where players you witness using a movement ability doing a charge, teleport, or blink could fail to properly animate. And then they fixed an issue where activating instant cast area bound abilities could cause your character to stop moving briefly. I don't know. I wasn't here. I'm not going to lie. They made several improvements to lighten heavy attacks as a result of the PTS they held earlier this year. They fixed an issue where medium attacks could deal less damage than light attacks in some cases, and more damage than fully charged heavy attacks in others. They fixed that. They reduced the damage from all ranged light and medium attacks by 10% to ensure they meet the range damage standards. Heavy attacks already meet these standards. All light, medium, and heavy attacks now have a 700 millisecond cooldown, unique to their weapon configuration, dual wield, one-handed, shield, blah, 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 rather than a varying amount between 500 milliseconds and 1 second. Cast times of heavy attacks have been increased or decreased to ensure their cast time plus cooldown remains the same at this time. And then all light, medium, heavy attacks now dramatically scale with your highest offensive stat. They also removed the 200 millisecond delay on lightning and restoration staff heavy attacks, preventing some weird hiccups and stutters that could encounter. Fixed issue where the dual wield heavy attacks could calculate their sneak attack damage incorrectly. And then Volendrungs, this is the hammer in Cyrodiil. They changed the way the attack works from a flat 5,000 damage regardless of charge time, and Volendrungs heavy, that's the light and heavy attack, and then the Volendron's heavy attack damage was reduced to 7560, down from 10,000. Alright. I think this meant to say light and medium attacks. I don't know. Or, yeah, now properly scale between light and heavy attacks. Flat 5,000. Okay. Buffs and debuffs. This is one we've all been a lot of people have been kind of concerned about, but I've been kind of waiting for. So, all major and minor buffs and debuffs have had coded to go through several validations sooner and more effectively as cached values, rather than abilities that exist on your characters. This new system will also properly ensure that no two same buffs or debuffs can even ever stack in effectiveness, rather than needing to be individually spot checked or on each application. It will also prioritize dungeon-based sources rather than permanent ones, so you do not need to fear losing their effects. While doing so, we have also properly reassigned the power of these effects into our set bonus efficiency. Standard minor effects are now worth 2 set bonuses, previously between 0.4 and 4.2. And major effects were worth 4, between which were previously blah blah blah. Alright, new values can be found below, so you can look in here and you can see this. So, minor expedition increased to 15% up from 10. Major savagery and prophecy was increased to 12 from 10. Minor breach, they increased to 2974 up from 1320. Major breach is now 5,948 up from 5,280. Major breach now affects both physical and spell resistance equally. So there is just major breach. Minor and major fracture yeeted from the plane of existence to embrace the missing other half. Minor and major ward. Minor resolve, they increased to 2974. Major resolve to 5948. Minor fortitude, lighten, endurance, intellect increased to 20% up from 20. Major fortitude to 40%. Minor defile decreased to 8%, major defile 16%, major mending decreased to 16%, major vitality decreased to 16%, major evasion down to 20, minor berserk down to 5, major berserk down to 10, minor protection is now 5% instead of 8, major protection is down to 10% from 30, minor maim is now 5% down from 15. Major maim is 10% down from 25. Minor vulnerability is now 5%, 10% on major. Minor magical skill is decreased to 168 per hit from 300. Major Aegis and Slayer, they decreased to 10% and fixed the area where Aegis was activated, additive rather than multiplicative. Minor Courage is now up to 215. Major Courage is now 430. That's crazy. Major Force increased to 20%. Minor Brittle decreases the target's damage taken by 10%. And then Major Brittle increases the target's damage taken by 20%, not yet sourced. Minor Cowardice, this debuff has been reworked and now reduces the target's weapon and spell damage by 215 rather than increasing their ultimate cost by 60%. Major Cowardice reduces the target's weapon and spell damage by 430. And then in Power, this buff now applies to all light and medium and heavy attacks for its duration and is no longer consumed on use. The following source of Empower now lasts 3 seconds, down from 5. To reflect the change to Empower is no longer consumed. Yeah. Alright, now that we know that, now that these bonuses have been reassigned, or reined in, we also have made sure to keep item sets in their SBE range, so we have done a pass on all sets that ensure blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So they basically went over all the item sets. Necromancer Changes. Gravelord, Blast Bones, made more improvements to their cooldown duration of this ability to reduce the chance of it becoming locked out despite the skeleton dying. Frozen Colossus, removed this ultimate its morphs, major vulnerability, invulnerability. Increase the duration of major vulnerability applied to 12 seconds up from 8. This will increase the total duration to 15 seconds. I think it's supposed to be the major invulnerability, not the major vulnerability. So, Nightblade, Assassinate, Executioner. This passive now restores 500 to 1,000 magicka and stamina when it procs, rather than 938 and 1876 magic and stamina, depending on your highest maximum value. Master Assassin, this passive now increases your physical spell penetration against targets. You are flanking by X amount rather than your weapon and spell damage. They explain why here in a spoiler thing. It's kind of weird, but hey, whatever. You guys can also read through these patch notes yourselves. There is a link in the description below. Shadow, Path of Darkness, Refreshing Path, Morph, Fixed in Issue, yeah, blah, 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 Fixed in Issue and Summon Shade, Siphoning, Soul Siphon, Fixed in Issue, Power Drain, Extraction Morph, Power Extraction Morph. This morph now applies minor cowardice to enemies hit rather than reducing their weapon and spell damage by a unique amount. Alright, they also reduce the base duration of 1 second, but the ability now is 1 second per rank, so up to 10 seconds. Alright, that's cool. Sorry, guys. Templar, Adric Spear. They fixed an issue with this. Spear Shard, Sun Shield, Blazing Shield, they fixed an issue. Healing Ritual, fixed an issue. Warden, Animal Companions, fixed an issue. Scorch, Subterranean Assault. This morph no longer applies Fracture. As Deep Fissure now affects all armor. Oh my god. This ability now recasts itself up after completing once per cast. Okay. New weapon stuff. Destruction Staff, guys. It's getting an overhaul on something. The Frost Staffs have received adjustments to further help stand out as a tank and support-orientated weapon type. Check out each ability adjusted to see what's changed with Frost and ability. And it says right here, developer comment, that the original intent of the Frost Staff line was to ensure magicka users to successfully tank in PvE and PvP scenarios. Many of the tools provided by the Frost Staff abilities either did not hold up to other tanking abilities or directly conflicted with other Destruction Staff abilities. For update 28, oh, it's update 28, not 29. One of our goals was to update the Frost Staff line to address the concerns, making the Frost Staff abilities more in line with our tanking gameplay, while also removing the pain points from the staff. We've also added more overall utility to the Frost Staff skills, giving them more viability as a backbar weapon to complement support and bruiser playstyles. Alright, so applying Chilled while actively holding a Frost Staff now applies Minor Brittle in addition to its other effects. Note the staff must be on your active bar when Chilled is applied for this to proc. Destruction Expert. This passive now grants 900 to 1800 magicka whenever you absorb damage with a Frost Staff damage shield. This new effect can occur once every 10 seconds. Destructive Touch. They fixed an issue where this ability in the Destructive Clinch morph would aggro enemies before dealing damage. Destructive Clinch is where they added the taunt. So Destructive Touch, or the other one, still has its ice ticking damage, which is good. And Impulse. Each elemental type of this ability has, and its morphs have gained new functionality. Flame Impulse now deals bonus damage that scales based on missing health if the target was hit was burning. Frost Impulse now applies minor protection to up to 6 group members for 6 seconds. Shock Impulse now deals 5% more damage to enemies hit, up to 30%. Trifocus. This passive no longer causes your heavy attack to taunt the enemy, and they increase the strength of the damage shield granted from the heavy attack with the Frost Staff to 12.5 and 25% of your max health, up from 4 and 8%. That's actually really going to be a big shield, which will be nice. Not a massive shield, but a big shield that'll help. Wall of Elements. The Frost version of this ability now applies a damage shield to you and 5 nearby group members that absorbs projectiles, but no longer snares enemies and deals 25% less damage than other elemental versions. They should have left this snare. That's my opinion. They fixed an issue where the shock version of this ability in its morphs was not capped at hitting 6 targets despite having auxiliary debuffs. And the elemental blockade. The frost version of this morph now also applies an additional smaller shield on you and group members in the area when it ends. So it's pretty cool. Not great, but hey, I'm just happy that they're trying to fix the ice staff stuff. I'm not happy that they took away its ability to be a DPS weapon. That pisses me off. Alright, one-handed and shield. Deadly bash. They fixed an issue. Puncture. This ability now applies major breach rather than fracture. Pierce armor. This morph now applies major breach as well. Okay. So, two-handed weapon, Berserker Strike, they fixed an issue. Armor, fixed an issue where some passive bonuses did not apply to your pets. World skills, werewolf transforming into a werewolf in front of NPCs now will properly consider a criminal act and generate hit infamy. Wow. Roaring Heresian's bounty, this ability now always applying to the major buffs while slotting rather than only while in werewolf form. This will fix the issue of slotting these abilities outside of werewolf form could prevent you from gaining their effects in source. Piercing Rage just morph down increases your damage taken by 8 to 5% depending on rank, down from 23 and 20. Dark Brotherhood. Pandomanic Spirit. This passive now triggers whenever you kill an enemy. Okay. Fire Rune fixed an issue. Undaunted Trapping Moves fixed an issue. Champion System. They reduced the weapon and spell critical granted from Perfected Strike and Spell Penetration to 3% each, down from 9. What? Yeah, that's a big nerf. That's a big nerf. But hey, you know, they had to fix crit somehow, I guess. Itemization and item sets. So consumables, potions, and poisons that apply major defile now properly mentioned also affect health recovery in their tooltips. Potions and poisons that apply minor fracture and breach have made a unique bonus. These values remain at 1320 and 5280. And then activating consumable or other quick slotted item will no longer cancel the progress cast. So crafted sets. Daedric Trickery. The major buffs granted from the set now lasts 21 seconds, up from 16. Reduce the cooldown of getting major buffs for 9 seconds, down from 20. This means that Mad God's Favor, you can have up to 3 major buffs at once from this set, or he is displeased. Only one will be tempted by his whatever honeyed words. Alright. His Spark, the 3-piece set bonus, is now max stamina rather than health recovery. And an Axiom, they fixed the issue where the set's bonus weapon and spell damage, yeah, whatever. Magna's Gift fixed an issue. Night Mother's Gaze, this set now applies major breach for 4 seconds rather than major fracture for 6 when you critically strike an enemy. That means this set now applies breach and fracture for 4 seconds. Guys just made my tank happy. Noble's Quest. This set now procs off any bash rather than interrupts. The heal now heals for 9,372 over 10 seconds rather than 4,300 instantly, and adds a 10-second cooldown to the heal. Okay, that's not too bad. Spectre's Eye, they increase the duration and cooldown major evasion granted from the set for 30 seconds, up from 5 and 10 respectively. Unchained Aggression or Aggressor, increase the duration of Major Berserk to 12 seconds, up from 6, and then reduce the cooldown to 14, down from 16. That's going to make that set really good. Dungeon and Arena sets. Banny's Torment, increase the duration of the beam to 15 seconds, up from 5, and increase the cooldown to 15 seconds, up from 14. Drazarkar's Claws, fix an issue. The set failed to activate. Yeah, Duran's Bane. Increase the duration of Major Defile granted from the set up to 5 seconds from 4. Okay, that's cool. Reduce the cooldown. Draugr's Rest. This set now has a friendly telegraph to detonate in the area of effect. Hands of Mephala, reduce the snare potency to 33%. Why don't you just And I'm not trying to sound rude here, guys, but why don't they just fucking remove them? Everything that has a snare, just remove it. So everyone will quit bitching about snares in PvP. Because that's the only reason why they keep removing it. In PvE, we need snares. For certain situations. Not all the time, but certain situations it's nice to have. So, sorry for the language. Haven of Ursus fixed numerous issues where the targeting of these sets synergy. The shield granted will now also grant itself a 6 lowest health targets in a 28 meter radius of the synergizer rather than wear of the set 6 more. Alright. Fixed issue where the shield was not enhanced by the harmony trait, whatever. Healers to habit. This set now grants an additional 5% healing done when wearing 5 pieces. That's cool. Him Jaws Retribution. This set now grants 129 weapon damage when wearing 5 pieces. Increase the major berserk on the proc to 10 seconds up from 5. Iron Blood. This set now grants a unique 30% damage reduction rather than a major protection. Jailer's Tenacity. Increase the duration to 8 seconds up from 5. Nightmare. Now this is a set they should never mess with. No offense. You should have just changed the minor main to 5 seconds. That's it. Everything else, garbage. So this set now grants up to whatever health when wearing 5 pieces. That's fine. But the 4-piece bonus now is armor instead of weapon damage. That's stupid. That's dumb. It's a good set though, still. With the 3-second cooldown and the 5-second uptime on minor main. It's pretty nice. Scathing Mage, fixed an issue. Sunder Flame reduced the damage done to 12,500 over 10 seconds from 13 to 600. Overland sets, Champions hits, they increase the max health this set grants on its 5-piece to 1,600 from 1,206. And again, guys, please understand, I don't like to cuss on my channel, but some of this stuff just irritates the hell out of me when I see it. It's like, why have snares in the game at all if you're just going to keep taking them out? Like, they've removed 90% of the snares in the game. Just remove them. Get rid of the rest of them. There's only like 5 left. So, Overland sets, Champions of His, they increase the max health gain by 5 pieces, 1,600, yeah. Grace of Gloom, reduce the cooldown to 20 seconds. The heal from the set out heals 2,550 over 2 seconds rather than this every second. This should also significantly reduce the visual rave-like noise of the set. Man Tinker, fix something. Order of Diagna, this set now grants additional 5% healing taken while wearing 5 pieces. Shulks, increase the spell damage. This set grants on its 5-piece up to 171, up from 129. That's actually pretty good. Vampire Cloak, they did the same thing. Venomous Smite fixed an issue where the visuals from this, yeah, okay. Warrior Poet, increase the max health this set gains on the 5-piece to 1,600, up from 1,206. Wisdom of Vanus, increase the major mending granted to 5 seconds, up from 3. PvP source sets. Affliction, increase the damage per proc to 2278, up from 1830. Cowardice gear, this set now grants up to 250 stamina recovery when wearing 5 pieces. For Facella's Guile, this set now only activates while in combat to help reduce the radiant message and area of effect spam it creates. This set now also grants 1,487 armor while wearing 5 pieces. Lekki's Focus, reduce the damage penalty of your area of effect attacks to 5% down from 15. Steadfast Hero, increase the duration of major protection granted to 10 seconds, up from 5, and reduce the cooldown to 10-12, down from 18. And Ward of Cyrodiil, increase the duration of major defile to 4 seconds, up from 3. Trial sets. The following sets grant a major buff for 1 second for every 10 ultimates spent, rather than 14. So they just changed Automated Defense, Inventor's Guard, Master Architect, War Machine to do that. And they increased the resource on kill from the following sets to 2454, up from 2150, and that's False Gods, Quick Serpent, and Vicious Ophidian. Arms of Reliquin, increase the damage per tick to 355 a stack, up from 300. Stupid. This stupid set. And I'm not trying to sound rude here, but Arms of Reliquant is an OP set and shouldn't be in the game. You shouldn't make a set that powerful. Because it just makes the meta, not the meta chasers, the formula chasers go crazy. Eternal Warrior increased the heal from this set to 25,750, up from, that's pretty cool. Healing Mage, this set now applies Minor Cowardice to enemies hit for 5 seconds rather than reducing weapon and spell damage, and they added a 3-second cooldown to the set. Immortal Warrior, they increased the duration of Major Protection to 20 seconds, and they reduced the cooldown to 20 seconds. Oh, wow. Wow. Kyne's Wind increased the resources granted per tick to 420, up from 309 or 399. Lunar Bastion increased the shield strength to 2737, up from 2383. And Tooth of Lorcaz, they increased the duration of Major Slayer granted to 16 seconds, up from 10. Vrol's Command reduced the cooldown of Major Aegis granted from the set to 21 seconds, down from 36, and increased the duration of this set to 12 seconds, up from 10. Yondir's Might, Giant's Endurance now stacks 10 times, up from 5, reduced the weapon and damage per thing, stack of Endurance to 41, down from 74, and Giant's Might now grants 63 weapon damage per stack, down from 111. They increased the duration of Giant's Might to 15 seconds, up from 10, and fixed an issue where Giant's Might didn't have a cooldown. So, Monster Mask, Lady Thorn, Sanguine Bursts, Mage or Maim now lasts 8 seconds, up from 5, reduced the cooldown to 20 seconds, down from 30. Pirate Skeleton, fixed an issue, removed the proc chance from the set, increased the duration of 15 seconds, up from 10, increased the cooldown to 20 seconds from 15, and this set now applies Minor Defile to you rather than Major Defile. Scourge Harvester, they increased the duration of the set to 6 seconds, up from 4, reduced the tick frequency to 1 second, down from 500, and the total healing from the set is 7,490 over 6 seconds rather than 5,715 over 4. Fixed an issue where the Major Vitality granted from this set could persist longer than the beam did. Vycosa, this set now applies Major Cowardice to enemies rather than a unique debuff to prevent situations where you could reduce the target's weapon and spell damage to 0, causing them to deal no damage. Increase the duration to 8 seconds and increase the cooldown to 16. Zon, fixed an issue. Ability Altering Weapons, Concentrated Force, fixed an issue. And Minder's Ward, increased the duration of Major Vitality, increased to 4 seconds. So, base game changes, just some minor improvements here and there. Blah, 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 blah. Anything cool? Nope, 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 nope. Furnishing? Nope, 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 nope. Miscellaneous? Nope, 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 nope. So that's pretty much it for the patch notes. And again, there's some of these I don't agree with, and some I do, and then there's some I just need to test to give an honest opinion. A lot of these is testing for an honest opinion to see if it's actually worth it. But at the same time, there are certain things like constantly reducing the amount of snares we have in this game is really hurting a lot of playstyles. And it's stupid. And it's all because PvPers want no snares in their game. Idiots. You want PvP, you're going to play PvP, you've got to deal with the situation. If you don't want to get snared, learn to break free. Learn to dodge roll. Avoid that stuff. And don't pretend that you can't, because it can be done. Babies, man. Those guys over in PvP, they cry as much as meta people do. Or I should say formula people. Yeah, I'm going to quit calling it what people call the meta in this game, the meta. I'm just going to call it the formula players, because that's all they care about is the math formula. They don't care about the completion or anything like that. They just care about the math formula and having like the best stats. But other than that, I do like a lot of these changes. I do think that some of them are good, but again, a lot of this stuff we got to get in and test. I do like the Major Breach Fracture change. That is cool. That is super cool. So, but yeah, it's looking good. I'm going to get on PTS today, guys. I'm going to test some of this stuff out. I'll let you guys know what I think throughout the week. I'm going to show some stuff. I will do an arena run-through also, but I'm not going to do that this week. I'll wait until it's been tested and fixed a few times. I'll probably do it on week 3 when they pretty much drop the next big patch, like the next big changes and everything, and I'll go from there. But everything else looks good. I got to check this critical thing out, because if critical chance changed on a lot of gear, that means like things like Hunting's Rage will now have like critical chance instead of just critical weapon critical, and it'll style the weapon damage and max stamina, but that will be like make it a cool hybrid thing. And same with, you know, Juliana, just a lot of sets will get a really cool hybrid overhaul, and I can't wait to see if they really did that. So again, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you guys know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe and also hit that notification bell for when I post new videos. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.